What is poppin', everybody? I'm Max, the part-time pitmaster, and you're watching the Part-Timers Barbecue. If you're new here and you like what you see, please subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Anybody else who's been supporting and grinding with me from the jump, you know I appreciate y'all. So in today's episode, we're gonna be doing spare ribs again, but my last video, I did them Texas style. I gave them a Texas trim. And this time, I'm gonna give them a more competition trim or a more popular trim, the St. Louis style, which most of you might be aware of. So I'm gonna chop it down, square it up, season it, and then put it on the pit. So let's dive in. So, I'm gonna start by getting rid of this skirt. All it's gonna do is act as kind of a pocket, and you're gonna get rub trapped underneath there that won't develop a bark. It'll just kind of get soggy. No good. So get rid of that. Now I think we can handle this membrane. So I'm gonna go here, get my butter knife, go on this bone here. Try not to tear it, just wanna lift it up a bit. Just like that, just enough, so we can get our finger underneath there. Okay, all right, just work it up. So this membrane, it's not necessary that you have to take it off. You can score it. A lot of guys don't, but it's really thick, and there's a high potential that it can end up giving you a bad texture to your ribs, so you might as well just take it off. But there's no law when it comes to barbecue. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna remove this breastbone here. So like I showed you before, you'll be able to see in between the cartilage. I'll take the knife, and I'm just gonna throw right down. Got it. Now to square off and take off the rib tips, you're gonna look for your largest bone. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Your fourth bone's your largest. You can see where it ends. And I'm just gonna kind of draw a line. Like that. And that's where we're gonna cut. Right across, just cutting out the cartilage. I'll save these rib tips here. We're gonna smoke them for sure. And then what I usually do is I'll smoke them, throw them in the freezer. When I make beans, I'll pull it apart and add that meat to my beans. But as you can see, when we did Texas style, we only cleaned up a little bit, but we have all this meat here that you keep on. St. Louis style, you're trimming all that off, and you're left with your bones here. Now, see, there's lots of cartilage in here, so it's not the best eating, but you can definitely get some good meat out of it. So now we're gonna go here, we're gonna find this little bone right around here, right there. I'm just gonna square that off there. Now we're gonna take this last bone here off. I'm gonna try to get close to the bone. And there we go. So not looking too bad at all. Take this little thing off. Cool. So on this side here, probably gonna leave that there. Not bad, not too much to take off. Any little stragglies here. Cut that off there. I'd say this side, back side here is good to go. Flip it over, and not a whole lot to do up here either. There's no big, large pockets of fat. Take off there. Some of this extra stuff here. So all that will do is fall off when you're cooking or render out. Take your rub with it. So take that away. Right here as well. Now you can go to your store and usually get these already trimmed, but I like when I find the deal with the full spare to break. It gives you the option if you want to break it down, if you want to leave it whole. It doesn't matter. The world's your oyster. So let's flip this over now. We'll get to season it, and then I'm gonna put it in the fridge. So I got my trusty apple cider vinegar mustard mix. I would say 1 fluid ounce mustard, and then another fluid ounce of apple cider vinegar. Basically a 50-50 mix. Nice. Get that all over. And I got my chicken and rib rub. I've got a whole lot left, but should be enough to get this rack good to go. I'm just doing a light coating, especially on the backside. Good source of pepper, a little reddy color, good salt, good rub. All right, now we're gonna flip it over. Repeat the process. Now I'm gonna call that done. Next time you see these rack of ribs, they'll be going on the smoker.
This is amateur hour!
Thank you. So here are our ribs that we seasoned up last night. Rib tips up top. Pitbarrel is fired up and smoking. So let's get these on. Remember, how you place them is how they're going to cook. So squish them up a bit. That'll help fatten them up. We're gonna throw these more direct. Oh, that fire. Cool. Fire's cooking, so let's get this lid back on. Okay, so ribs I just put on not too long ago. Pitbarrel smoking away, nice, clean. Maybe you can take a look here. So we are good. So my game plan is I've given myself 4.5, 5 hours for this cook. The Pitbarrel is going to cook how it's going to cook, between, like I've said before, between 275 and 300, upwards to 325 at times, but no big deal. So it's just going to do its thing. If it gets done a little earlier than expected, I'll just hold it and rest it in the oven. If it doesn't, you only need like maybe a 15-30 minute rest with ribs anyway, so no big deal. We're going to keep going and bring you back when we go to check on them off the bring you back when we do our first check. So as you can see, I went in for the second mop. We're around the 2-hour mark. Looking good. So I'm mopped it, I flipped it. I'm only gonna let it sit meat side down on the grates for 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna come back and flip them back over. Just gonna help bark it up there. Other than that, I'll be pulling those riblets off shortly, wrapping them up, and I'm gonna actually put some wings on here, so you get to see that too. So as you saw, we just wrapped our ribs. We're at around hour 3. That's plenty of time to get smoke on the pit barrel there. It was looking great, color was nice, moist. So I wrap it up. I only like to wrap it up for about an hour. I feel like any longer than that and you're gonna turn it to mush. So an hour is perfect, really help tenderize, and we're gonna infuse some more flavor by using our homemade vinegar barbecue sauce. Now, this is nothing crazy. Vinegar, ketchup, some seasonings. I'll actually show y'all how to make it if you want. Here is how I make that barbecue sauce. Super simple. I guarantee most people have everything in their kitchen. So I start with apple cider vinegar, get the stove top turned on so we can get it hot to dissolve the sugars and everything else. Then we're gonna add brown sugar to that. We're gonna add some barbecue rub. I threw a little allspice in there and Worcestershire sauce. So we're gonna let this heat up and we're gonna let everything dissolve. After that, then we'll add the ketchup and some mustard. Mix this all together. We're gonna let it cook down just a tiny bit. Taste it, add what we need to, and then let it cool down. No exact recipe, just kind of throw it in as you go. It's now time to cut into these ribs. They rested for about 15-20 minutes. They look great, awesome color. Now, I don't usually sauce my ribs, but if that's what you like, no problem. You do that maybe 15 minutes before you pull these ribs off. Now I'm gonna make a nice cut. I'm gonna take a rib from the center because those are usually the best ribs. Nice, meaty. They're holding up. Let's take the bite test and see how we did. Nice smoke ring on there. Now that's a perfect bite through rib right there. Easy, no real pull off, but it's not falling off the bone. There you go. That's A1. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you haven't already, you can check out my Instagram page for more content between the posts. I'll link that in the caption. Remember, keep that smoke alive and have yourself a wonderful day.